Welcome back to another video, everyone. My name is Fabio, and today I was practicing animating jumps. So here is the finished product. I recorded my process. If you guys want to stick around, we can see how this was made. Let's get into it. So I went in beforehand and I blocked out my jump already. So I kind of just roughly drew in some frames to get the path of action that I like. Made some notes up here, like what pose is on each frame, how I want the timing to look. So just so I can refer to that when I'm animating. And I used the Animator's Survival's Guide to help me a lot. Great book, you guys should check it out. Now, with this all roughed in, I'm ready to bring in my character rig and we can just animate on top of this. Go up to library, or wherever you stored your rig if you downloaded it. One-eyed monster, let's drag him in right to the camera view. So I'm just gonna select, I'm gonna plus everything once, keyframe here so I don't lose the pose, and I'll select this 3/4 pose. That's kind of what I want, and just plus everything out of the timeline. So let's go on the top layer, select our animate tool, press 4 so I can flip him like this. So now we're kind of in a good starting position. But let me just move, I'm gonna add a peg to my rough work so then I can Alt and down arrow so I can move it in front. This way I can kind of match my character to my drawing. We can work on the upper and legs, so I'll keyframe those and I'll save the master peg if I want to move them up and down. Okay, so let's keyframe these and just grab the legs and I'll adjust roughly to what I want. Right, and these legs, they have deformers on them. My hotkey to show deformers is Shift D and Shift C to hide them. Let's position his eye a little bit. Looking more this way. And the eyelid also has a deformer, so we can drop it down, move it, and so does the body. There we go, and if it's getting in the way of this rough work, just select it, press D to hide it. The eyeball has a deformer as well, so I can adjust like this. Right, so it's kind of fun to just work with the pose, experiment. Right, maybe I'll bend these legs a little bit. Cool. Okay, so first pose is pretty much done, and it's very simple, right? I love how simple this rig is. It's so easy to just focus on the actual timing and the mechanics of this jump. So I'll go in now, I'll match another pose in real time, but then we can speed up the process because it's basically the same thing. So again, I'll keyframe all 3 of these layers. Now let's squash this guy right down. So I'll grab the body, you can select the body separately, squash him, maybe use the deformer, squash him down this way. Right, and this just be rough because then once I delete my line work after, like once I get rid of the guide, then I can go in and actually clean up the deformers a little more so the pose looks a little better. So the eye is probably going to squash like this as well. I'll bring the eyelid down, I think. I don't know if I'm going to have him blink. Oh, I can't get it. Yeah, there you go. The only problem with this rig, I think, if I were to do it again, is, see the eyelid? I probably would have made an envelope deformer around the whole thing. Because this way I could fix that breakage there. But, you know, whatever. There you go. Up like this. We can hide, oops, what's going on? We can hide our rough work and adjust it even further now. So I have the basic pose. I can probably squash this more this way. Maybe we can even push him down a little more and really push these legs, really squash him down. And see how what's happening here? How it's tweening there? If you just select this, press Control L, the tween goes away. I don't know why it does that, but sometimes it does. So now I'm gonna just go in, speed this up, and just match my pose, my character rig, to the rest of these drawings. And then we'll come back and fill in the in-betweens afterwards. One thing before I do that, if you wanna, so see how, let's close this. See how he squashes here, right? I wanna keep him kind of consistent. So what I'll do is I'll copy and paste my first frame. So now I know he's back to the starting point, and then I can deform him from there. So say if I just started deforming him this way, right from the squash, he can really start to get out of hand in terms of like body proportions and things like that. So this is a way to keep everything kind of the same size. Okay, so everything is matched up now. So I went into and I adjusted kind of like the eye so it overlaps here, so it gives it kind of more three-dimensional look. So he jumps and lands. So if we play through this, I'm actually happy with how it's looking so far. You can see it looks like a jump. Now the next thing we need to do is fill in the in-betweens. Now normally if we were doing this hand-drawn, it would take us quite a while, but I think because we're going to use tweens instead, it's going to be a lot quicker, hopefully. Oh, sorry, just a side note too. If you were having trouble like animating, if things weren't working well in the timeline, here's kind of a tip. So see this top layer here, the master peg line, whatever? That's where I moved him up, down, or sideways. So that's where all the up and down movement is stored. So when I tween this is where that motion is stored. And then on these two layers is where like the stretching of the body and the movement of the legs is stored. So if I got rid of these keyframes and we play through it, see how he doesn't move? He doesn't go up and down? It makes it easier if you keep your actions organized in your pegs. So let's select all these, Control K to add a tween, and all this does is it just adds a uniform motion, right? So he squashes down. And if I know for my timing chart, I want to slow into this frame, so I want to favor frame 7. So what I can do is, since I'm kind of working on 2s, I'll keyframe F6, the frames right before, and then move them one over. So now I'm gonna have that slow into 7. And then I can just keyframe this normally. So if we go here, now he slows into 7, which is what I want. So let's do the same thing now between frame 7 and 10. I'll keyframe this, Control K. And if I look, I wanted to slow out of frame 7. So I'll keyframe frame 8, move it to frame 9, and add a new tween on frame 8 again. So now I have that slow out. So if we play it, already the jump is looking great. Now we're just going to keep going through this animation, following my timing notes over here, and we can give it that slow in and slow out by using that little trick that we just did, rather than using these graphs. Okay, great. So all our keyframes are filled in. Now let's have a look at what we have. And I'm liking that. It's a nice movement. And he hovers in the air a little bit. And I like the settle at the end. That looks great, actually. So what there's left to do is go into each of these frames and sort of clean up the action. Because if you can see, like, see how the feet there are kind of messed up and they disconnect from the body? Sometimes that happens when you tween things. So now we just gotta go in and fine-tune the motion. So let's speed this up again because it's kind of just pretty boring to watch, and finish off our jump. Okay, so that's looking good, guys. So all I did, I fixed some line breaks, and I added, if you look here, some drag on the legs. Just to, I don't know, I feel it really adds some more life. So now when we play this jump, I love the squash and stretch, and I love the staggered feet at the end. That looks great. So thanks guys for following along. If you want, you can download this rig. I'll post the link in the description. If you guys are interested, you can take a look at that. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Download the rig, experiment, have some fun with jumps, because that's what this is all about. And I'll see everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching.